Okay. Hi, this is Ice Blue 333. Currently, it is May the 6th, 2025. A lot of news has come out, but I want to focus on mainly Hillary Clinton and May the 2nd. So let's see here. On April the 28th, the press secretary, she implemented a new type of press briefing called the influencer debriefing. And with that, now the influencers are able to come in and ask questions that their audience might want to know all about. So 3 days past the 28th, which is the 30th, which is what, a Gemini number, the number of Gemini. Anyway, on April the 30th, there was a influencer debriefing, and two influencers, they asked about specifically Hillary Clinton. So I want to post that video here, and I'll pause right here.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the honor to be able to ask a question and provide some transparency for the American people. Speaking of, I wanted to reference the election integrity. A lot of people in America are questioning if there's any possibility that we could see further investigations for anyone that could have violated our election integrity rights. And more importantly, so is there any possibility for names such as Barack Hussein Obama, Hillary Rodham Clinton to ever just possibly get investigated for any of these, questions from the American people, from any of the wrongdoings they might have done?
Well, it's for
Follow up on Dom's question. I still have a ton of my audience that is still asking questions about Hillary Rodham Clinton and the fact that it came out that her and the DNC funded the Steele dossier, which then led to a Crossfire Hurricane and all the FISA abuses that went against President Trump leading up to the 2020 election. Is there, you don't have to spill the beans, but is there something? Is there somebody still looking at it? We just want to know that it's not dead in the water, that Hillary's not just off scot-free after knowing what her and the DNC did leading up to the 2020 election.
It's a great question. Absolutely understand and agree with why you're asking it, but I would want to let the president weigh in on that front. I haven't discussed it with him, to be honest with you, but certainly we can ask him and get back to you.
All right, that'd be good.
Eric.
Okay. So let's see. That was the 30th. On May the 1st or the 2nd, it came out that Mike Waltz was leaving his position as the National Security Advisor and being transferred to the UN, the ambassador of the UN. So that was interesting. What's interesting about that is that when you think about text messages and text messaging, and that Signal event that happened in regards to him and the rest of his team, it looked almost like the Hillary Clinton email scandal in some form of fashion. Although the Signal chat, it wasn't classified information, and I believe Hillary Clinton, the stuff that happened with her was classified. So that's that. Ooh. Now, why would that be important? Is it seems kind of obvious, but then again, maybe it was just coincidence.
Would the secretary consider a request from the president to replace Mike Wallace temporarily or in another fashion, if that is something that the president thinks would be good for the country? Is that something that the secretary would consider?
I'm not going to jump ahead of thinking what the secretary might say or do in any context. What we do know is that the president is, in fact, the one who is running this country. It is his leadership and vision that has set the tone and so we've got a lot of activity down here in the first row.
Something that's just come out from the president.
Yeah.
So
All right, great, terrific.
the president has just written on Truth Social that Mike Waltz is going to become the new U.S. ambassador to the United Nations.
Well, there you
Therefore,
go.
No longer the National Security Advisor.
Fabulous.
And in addition to that, he says that in the interim, Secretary of State Marco Rubio will serve as national security advisor while continuing his strong leadership at the State Department. Do you know how long he's going to be serving in both roles?
It is clear that I just heard this from you. This is the magic. Well, I have some insights as to the potential of certain things that might happen. But when the president, we have to admit, these last 100 days, it's like hanging on to a freaking bullet train. I mean, it is a fast dynamic with people who have a journey that is set with a goal that has been determined, and it's staffed with men and women who understand what the agenda is and how to get it done. Now, you know where we need to go. Yes, go ahead, dear.
Can you help us understand why this reshuffle is happening, or what it says about the administration's policy priorities that these moves are taking place?
I think what it says is what his first term said to people, is this is a man who is very active, day-to-day involved, knows what he wants to accomplish. Things also sometimes change. I'm not going to guess at the decisions President Trump makes. What we do know is the results of those decisions.
So that was May 2nd in regards to Hillary Clinton. So let me backtrack a little bit and talk about April 26th until now, which is May the 6th. So on April 26th, which was my birthday, I believe 2 Epstein victims committed, So that was April 26th, and that was the transit Pluto opposite Mars in the sky. And also, like I said, 2 days later, the new press or the influencer debriefings, they began to happen. So that was April 26th, 27th, and 28th. Oh wait, on the 27th there was a new moon, and the new moon. Well, let me go back to the full moon that happened on April the 12th. I said that something would come up with Kamala Harris, and so apparently, I believe on April the 30th or May the 1st, Kamala Harris had her first conference since she lost the election. And let's see here. Later on, I believe the next day or 2 days later, I believe that the press secretary they made some comments about that. So I'll post that video here.
Peter, we just gave you 2 questions. Brian, go ahead.
But I'll wait. Thank you.
Last night, Kamala Harris delivered her first major speech after losing the election. She attacked Trump personally, attacked the policies. Any comment from the White House on that?
Well, I think it was a great reminder to the American people. And then the border invasion. If those policies had continued, it would have been the end of the American Republic. And the only thing Americans want to hear from Kamala Harris is an apology for joining Joe Biden, and remember, she was the border czar, joining Joe Biden in aiding and abetting the invasion of our country. And we're never going to stop talking about this, because what they did to this country is unforgivable. It is an eternal stain on the Democrat Party.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone. And just to add on the Kamala Harris point, I think I speak for everyone at the White House. We encourage Kamala Harris to continue going out and do speaking engagements. You'll hear from the president at 11 o'clock. See you guys later.
A report the president's planning to fire Mike Waltz. You guys have a response?
Okay. So again, I told you that in the end, Kamala Harris will get lucky. And that's on the 27th of May. That's what the progression shows inside of her chart. But everybody else, including Hillary Clinton, Biden, and Obama, something bad happens in their charts, or is shown bad to happen inside of their charts. That's on the 26th of May for Biden. The 30th or the 31st for Hillary Clinton, and the 3rd of June also for Hillary Clinton. And I believe Obama, his hits on June 8th. So that would be interesting. Let me see here. Am I missing anything? Let me pause. Okay. On April 22nd, the press secretary, she basically said that starting May the 5th, that they would start doing involuntary check garnishings in regards to the student debt crisis, and in regards to people who have student debt, who I think have gone into forbearance or something like that. So that does kind of deal with the Mars opposite Pluto transit that happened in the sky, because I think Pluto rules other people's money, and yet Mars also rules anger and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people were upset about that. Okay, so in regards to the Mars Pluto opposition in the sky, now it hit 3 times already, but it's the last time it hit for now was April 26th, 2025, which is on my birthday. So let's see here. Now, Pluto is going to begin to retrograde on May the 4th, 2025. And let's see here. The retrograde ends on October 14th, 2025. But let's see here. If you look at the transiting Pluto's shadow, basically its shadow period began on January 10th, 2025. And that is when Donald Trump was pretty much certified as the election winner. And Kamala, she cast the votes for him to become president. Now, transiting Pluto's shadow, its retrograde shadow, it ends on February 4th, 2026. So that's interesting because, see, Hillary Clinton, she has a lot of I think progressions or transits going on during that period of time too. Okay. And I've been watching other astrologers, and they're saying that I think the planet Eris is going to conjoin Chiron later on this month, around the same time that transiting Saturn is going to change signs into Aries. So the days that this person said that transiting Aries is going to change signs is going to be on May 26th, 2025, and that's going to be also while there's a new moon on May 26th, 2025. And this person said that Eris will conjoin Chiron again on October 8th, 2025. And then lastly, will hit on March 19th, 2026. So I only look at dates. So we'll see what happens. I do know that late May is going to be crazy because, like I said, Biden will be, I think the progressions all start off with Biden. I think on May the 24th, transiting Saturn will change signs and go into Aries. So that then on May the 26th, Biden, he will have a progression to Saturn. And that's going to be a bad depressive day for him. And then on the 27th of May, 2025, Kamala Harris, she will have her progressed Jupiter oppose her, I believe, natal Neptune. And so I believe she will get lucky for some reason. And I think on the 30th, I think Hillary Clinton, she will have a progression to Saturn or something like that. And then also Hillary Clinton on June the 3rd, she would have another bad progression too. And then lastly, I think on June the 8th, I think Obama will have a progression of Saturn too. And I think Hillary Clinton, she will have a similar progression. No. I think that her progressive moon is going to conjoin the same degree that her progressive moon conjoined back during the Monica Lewinsky scandal or whatever. It's going to conjoin the same degree, I believe. But let me see here, and I want to also post when the exact progression is going to hit, which was the Monica Lewinsky scandal in regards to Hillary Clinton. It happened because Hillary Clinton's progressed moon made an aspect to her progressed Mars from a specific house or whatever. But either way, I'm gonna post that here, and we're just gonna see what's gonna go on this month. May 2nd wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, something did happen, but it's not to an extreme. Maybe it was something. Maybe something is going on behind the scenes still, and we haven't seen it because I did say that the full moon in regards to Kamala Harris that hit on April 12th. We didn't see anything pop up with Kamala Harris until recently, which was the 30th of April, and that's when she had her first speech since her election loss. So I said again, Hillary Clinton, she will have the full moon on May 12th. It's going to make a weird aspect inside of Hillary Clinton's chart. And so maybe towards the end of the month, we may see something come up with Hillary Clinton. Yeah. So we will see. Bye for now.